Hear me in the World Vibes Radio. Why they my use ya? Not take no talkie. Be careful of some places where you walk. Some no know God, them no read Bible. Then we shoot you down with them rifle. Do not bring no guns, come to town. It's World Vibes, tell them leave that at home. Them better bring love, come to town. It's I say spread the joy around. World Vibes Radio. Not taking this, you know. Let's go and teach your youths them. Play some good music. Educate them.
Now this is Prophecy, the Judge General out of Jamaica. And whenever I'm on the highways, going through the byways, I always stay in tune to Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans with Joshua. I swear and I honor that I'll find a way to enlighten my people so they can make it through their days. Cause I don't want to see nobody banks, body banks.
Yo, check this out. This is Anthony Cruz, and you don't know it's the Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans with Joshua. Keep it locked, man. Blaze it hot. Anthony Cruz to that.
Father, it's me again. It's Somari again. Yes, it's me again. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Father God, now beg you guide me through the land. This is a prayer, this is more than a song. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jehovah, guide me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah, shield me from the evil way I bring me. Jehovah, guide me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah, shield me from the evil way I bring me. Father God, may beg you guide and protect me from the evil out the road where you try to corral me. From all the wicked where you try to backstab me, and the one them where you plot to take my life over vanity. Father God, may beg you watch my family. Protect my friends as I bless my enemies. Me need you more in this time, cause out the road it just not pretty with the crime. Yeah, yeah. And Father God, may beg you just stand beside me. Every day them just a come at me if you try to derail me. But me thank you every day for the victory. Just a hold on the faith, me now go make them distract me. And these are youth who hustle hard in the streets, working every day because the wife have to eat. And I must fulfill my destiny. Send your angels in for watch over me. And Jehovah, guide me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah, shield me from the evil way I bring me. Jehovah, guide me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah, shield me from the evil way I bring me. Me say it's sticky, and out the road me say you mucky. And them the youths and nowadays no afraid we make it up. What a pity, I beer guns so lot the city. And round the world I beer calamity. No, it not pretty. And out the road me say it dirty. And every man who run the place like him and John Gotti. What a pity, no more love for the inner the city. So send your love now cause we need it. Oh, guide me and just protect me from my enemies. And just protect me from my enemy. Jehovah, shield me from the evil way I bring me. It's me again. Jehovah, me I beg you to cover me with all of your might. Protect me from the evil man, the man where you have the evil plan, the man where you try to take my life. It's me again. Jehovah, me I beg you to cover me with all of your might. Protect me from the evil man, the man where you have the evil plan, the man where you try to take my life. Jehovah, guide me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah, me I beg you shield me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah shield me, Jehovah shield me from the evil way I bring me. Jehovah, just guide me and just protect me from my enemies. Jehovah, just shield me from all the wicked way I bring me. Jehovah,
Yes, yes.
guide me, Jehovah, guide me.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans. My name is Joshua, and you're listening to Amari, Jehovah Guide Me, one of my favorites. I tell you, I maintain that reggae music is the most spiritual music in the world, okay? Because there's no other genre apart from gospel music, which is, Yeshua-centric, right? There is no other genre in music that speaks so much about the creative force, about godly matters, about godly ways, about righteousness. There's no other. So any country that has this music as its foundation must be a spiritual country. Now, albeit a lot of us were misled by the teachings of Christianity, and when I say misled, there's a lot of doctrine of Christianity that has limited our power, okay? Limited our power and has caused us to give it away and not stand up to the full stature of who the creative force wants us to be. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joshua, and we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Jamaica start, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we started half hour later, and we usually go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes even longer. And what we do here is we teach the ancient wisdom known as Kabbalah. Kabbalah is based upon the teachings of the Old Testament, primarily the 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it is the wisdom that Moses received on Mount Sinai, was handed down from teacher to student until the 2nd century, where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai received the revelation to write it down, to write down the teachings in its fullness. And further expounded on by Rabbi Isaac Luria, 15th century Kabbalist, and further expounded upon and revealed to us by Rav Ashlag in 1922, the founder of the Kabbalah Center. And my friends, let me just explain to you. The Zohar is the principal text of Kabbalah. The Zohar has been given to us to further reveal the secrets of the Torah. Without the Zohar, we cannot connect to the essence and the magic of the Torah. We cannot. Although we can read the Bible, and we can gain spiritual understanding, we will not be able to connect to the true essence or the energy of the Torah without the Zohar. So, as a student of Kabbalah, it is our mission to not only study the Zohar, but to expose and to share it with others. Because truly, without the Zohar, the world will remain in obscurity and will not reach the place of paradise and peace that it was intended to be. Okay? So, a part of the mission of the Kabbalah Learning Center of Jamaica is our grassroots efforts to get a Zohar in every home in Jamaica. Over 3,000 Zohars have currently been distributed throughout Jamaica. what the Zohar will do is it will increase the vibration of where it is, whoever has it. It will create around them a shield of protection. And it will bring healing. So if you would like your own Zohar for free, contact us here in the studio at country code +1 516 965 5700. Again, country code +1 516 965 5700, and we'll get you a Zohar wherever you are in the world. If you're listening from the UK or from Canada, anywhere in Jamaica, anywhere in the world, we will get you a Zohar for your own protection. The text of the Zohar can be found online at www.zohar.com. That's zohar.com. zohar.com. And friends, let me tell you, I've been studying or practicing Kabbalah for the last 18 years. Being raised a Christian, raised in a Jamaican household. And let me tell you, the Zohar is extremely powerful. I have heard so many Zohar stories. People who have had Zohars, and the healing stories, the protection stories. There are people who will never leave their home without the Zohar in their pocket. Because as the Zohar itself tells us, it will stay away negative forces. It will keep them at bay. And tonight, hopefully, actually last night, every Tuesday and Sunday night, there is a 30-minute Zohar reading dedicated to Jamaica, sponsored by the Kabbalah Center on the Zohar channel, the 24-hour by 6 days Zohar channel, where all we do is read the Zohar in its original form in Aramaic and translated English. Sometimes in Spanish, depending on where in the world the call is being held. But we have people all around the world, students of the Kabbalah Center, that participate in this Zohar reading. I, for one, on a daily basis, from, say, about 10 a.m. Eastern till about 12 p.m. Eastern, I am on the Zohar call. And usually I'm just listening because I am working, and I just have it on in the background. All right? And it's extremely powerful because the vibration alone, the vibratory force of the Zohar alone brings healing, brings tranquility, brings protection, and helps to transform your desire to receive for the self alone into a desire to receive for the sake of sharing. Because that is how we are created. The creative force implanted within us, the desire to receive. So when people are selfish, you cannot blame them. It is our nature to be selfish. It is in our nature to think of ourselves. It is only through spiritual transformation does a person begin to think about others and to put others before themselves. So, again, welcome to the call. For those of you listening on World Vibes Radio, welcome. Again, we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Jamaica, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And I want to welcome to our program tonight. I see Brother Akash. I see Brother Granville, who is in Jamaica. I see Brother Sean, who is also in Jamaica. And I want to welcome for the first time to our program tonight, Sterling, who is a student of the Kabbalah Center who lives in L.A. Good evening, everyone. And welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, good evening.
All right, and Brother Granville, good evening too. You might just be listening tonight, but welcome to the program. And Sterling, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
Sterling is a good friend of the program and a student of the center, and has joined us to read a few pages, or a few verses, I should say, of Zohar for us, because the Zohar is so powerful that anytime it is read, it raises the vibration of wherever you are. And what I am going to do is, and there are various ways that you can study or read the Zohar. The primary way of reading the Zohar is we follow the portion of the week, because Kabbalah is all about energy, riding the flow of energy. And what happens is every Shabbat, every Saturday, the Israelite goes to temple and they listen to one of the 52 portions of the Torah. The prophet Ezra was given divine inspiration to divide the Torah into, it's actually 54 portions, and one is read every week. And of course, there are 52 weeks in the year, so sometimes we read a double portion. But it is so divinely inspired that certain portions are read around the same time every year, before or after certain holidays, which are cosmic openings. The Israelite holidays are cosmic openings where we can tap into the energy that is being made available to us from the universe. Yes? So this whole week, we've been reading the portion of Behalatka, which is in the book of Numbers, the 4th book of Moses. Because on this Shabbat, on Saturday, we're going to be reading the Torah portion of Behalatka. And let's see, just to give you the proper context, I'll let you know what portion or what verses in the book of Numbers that portion is. Okay, so it is Numbers chapter 8 through 12. So that's what we will be reading on Shabbat, on Saturday. And the Zohar portions that are read prior to the Shabbat are given to us to help us to create a vessel. What do I mean by vessel? Kabbalah teaches that there are really only two things that exist. The light force of the Creator, which is a force of constant giving, right? The light force, which is an infinite source of giving, of energy. And the vessel, which is what receives the energy. We and creation, everything in creation is a vessel, because it contains the light force of the Creator, that which animates that thing. Whether it be a solid, inanimate, whether it be vegetative, right, from the vegetable kingdom, the plants, or humans, those that speak. Those are the vessels. We are the vessels that the light force will fill to give us animation and existence. So all of this week, we are reading the portion of Behalatka leading up to the reading on Shabbat. So I've asked Sterling if she can be so kind to read for us a few verses, 2 or 3 verses out of the Zohar, just to raise the vibration of the program and for our listeners, because whoever is listening, the Zohar will raise your vibration. And what happens when your vibration is raised? You start vibrating at a higher level, and you're able to connect to higher forces, higher metaphysical forces, which will allow you to draw energy and to manifest your desires here on the earth. That's the power of the Zohar, and that is the power of this wisdom, my friends. You know, the hardest thing is to get people to understand how the reading of a book, and again, you know, it's in a book form, but it's really not a book like any other book. It's energy encapsulated in Hebrew letters. That is where the power is. The Zohar teaches us that the Creator, before he made anything in the world, he created the 22 Hebrew letters. And from that, he made the Torah. And then he looked inside of the Torah, which is the blueprint of creation, and then he made creation. So first came the Hebrew letters, then the Torah, and then creation. And once people are able to wrap their mind around that and absorb that, that is when they're able to start to connect to the magnificent power, the transformative power that we, the students of Kabbalah, are experiencing in our own lives. And I want to welcome to the program Miss Myrtle and Miss Deborah to the call. Good evening, Miss Deborah and Miss Myrtle.
Good night, Joshua. Good night to Joshua and the listener.
How are you doing, Miss D?
I am here. I am here.
All right. Well, we're glad that you're here
I'm
with us.
here.
Glad you're here with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's see. Yes, Miss.
I'm here too.
Yes, Miss Myrtle.
I'm here too.
Good, good, good. Lovely, lovely. Glad to have you. Let's see. What shall we read tonight in the portion? You know. Okay. Let's see. I will. Let's see. How about this? Okay. I think that it is in this portion where the two nuns, let's see. Sterling, help me. Is it in this portion where? No, that's before. Actually, maybe.
No, it says the two nuns is a chapter 22.
Right, but this is not where the nuns, the inverted nuns, show up, is it?
I don't think so, but I can look.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh,
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
It
I
is.
see it.
It is.
Okay.
So you know what? Let's read from that. That's actually in the sixth aliyah in this week's Torah portion. The inverted nuns. You know, there are certain places in the Torah where we observe certain special things. For instance, it's a law that if any of the letters on the parchment are cracked, it invalidates the Torah scroll completely. In other words, each one of the letters have to be completely drawn and without a crack. In other words, the ink cannot come off or appear to be cracked. However, there are two places in the Torah where a particular letter must be cracked. And if it is not cracked, it invalidates the scroll. One of them is in the portion of Pinchas, where there's a vav that is broken. And the other one is in, I don't remember the portion, but it is a het. The letter het is broken. And that is when it represents when Moses broke the first set of tablets. That's what it represents. So those two particular places, if the letter is not cracked, it invalidates the Torah scroll and it must be done away with. So in this particular portion, this coming Saturday, what we're going to be reading is where we see the letter Nun inverted, backwards, written backwards. And that is very special. The words in between the two inverted nuns is very special and very powerful. Again, we're talking about energy, metaphysics. And for those of us who were raised in Christianity, it's going to be new to us because Christianity doesn't teach you anything about this. In fact, Christianity doesn't even deal with the Hebrew letters. It deals with English, or actually not even English. It deals with Greek because the New Testament was written in Greek. So you don't get any energy from that. Yes, Sterling. You were saying something?
Oh, no, I'm listening.
Yes. So the power, my friends, is in the Hebrew letters. Now, when you are scanning the Zohar, even if you do not understand Hebrew, okay, or it's written actually in Aramaic, which is a dialect of Hebrew, even if you don't understand it, you are able to connect to the energy through your eyes and through your ears. Because the Creator knew that there would be a people that would not have this as their natural language. And they still would need a way to be able to connect to the energy. So we can do so through our eyes. Why? Because our soul knows Hebrew. Our soul knows the letters. Our mind and our intellect may not. But that does not preclude us from being able to connect to the energy. So just by perusing with your eyes from right to left, scanning from right to left, just like a barcode reader in a supermarket. Every product has a barcode. Our eyes is the barcode reader, and the Hebrew letters are the barcode. So just by scanning, we can connect to the energy. Or if we're listening, the vibratory sound of the Hebrew letters will hit against our eardrum and will cause metaphysical energies to be aroused and will impact our soul. That is how it works, my friends. If you allow yourself and prevent your mind from saying to you, this is ridiculous, or this doesn't work, or how can this be? If you just allow it, you will begin to feel the energy. There are some people who are very sensitive and can feel the energy. You may get goosebumps, right? That means you're connecting to the source. You're plugging in. And I want to welcome Brother Peter to the call. Good evening, Brother Peter. And let's see. So we are going to greetings. Let's see. I am going to do this. Right. Look at all drawings. Okay. So Sterling, can you see our screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to read from chapter 22. The nuns, and I'm going to read the synopsis, because remember, so the Zohar, explain a little further for those of you listening for the first time. The Zohar is a compilation of conversations between rabbis, the main one being Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And he's expounding upon either a particular verse of the Torah or a subject. In this particular case, it's a subject that is speaking about a particular passage in the Torah. Okay? So here is the synopsis. Rabbi Elazar talks about the letter Nun that faces backwards in two places in the quoted verses. He says that when the ark traveled, the Shekinah, which is the feminine aspect of the Creator, the force that he sent with us, it to be with us in exile. When the Shekinah traveled along and did not leave Israel, right? And just as she kept her face turned back to the children of Israel, the Nun that traveled with them turned back to them. Rabbi Shimon says that after the ark came to rest and the people complained, they caused Malhut to turn her back on them. Now, again, for those of you listening for the first time, you may be hearing terms that you might be unfamiliar with. The term Malhut refers to the realm of physicality in the tree of life. The tree of life is made up of 10 energy attributes called spherots. There are 10 sphirot in the tree of life, starting from the top, which is Keter, and traveling downward to the last one, which is Malhut. That's where the realm where we live in, the realm of physicality, the world of action. The world of Malhut is the only place where physicality exists. The upper 9 sphirot is non-physical. Okay? Non-physical. So, Sterling, again, I thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate you so much. Can you read verse 127 for us, please?
Sure. 127. Vayehi bin so'ah ha'aron vayomer Moshe v'gomer. Rabbi Elazar amar hacha it la'is takela nun ta'ihi mechazara la'achora hacha bitre duchete amai. Ve'ite ma nun kafufa ha yadia nun kafufa nukba nun peshuta kelala didachar v'nukba v'ha okimana be'atar da vayehi bin soa ha'aron amai itadar levatar kegavana da.
Thank you so much. And here is the English translation for what was just read. Verse 127, one soul with the Rav and Karen and all the Sadiqim. Oh, we are also being supported by the soul of Yehuda, head of the tribe of Judah, the son of Jacob, because this is his death anniversary. Verse 127, and it came to pass when the ark set forward that Moses said, that is a quote from Numbers chapter 10, verse 35. Rabbi Elazar said, here we must observe the letter Nun that is inverted, facing backward here in two places. Actually, let me just share this with those who are looking or watching on YouTube Live. Okay. All right, so here we must observe the letter Nun that is inverted, facing backward here in two places, meaning the letter Nun that stands before the passage, quote, and it came to pass when the ark set forward, and after it. Why? One may think that it alludes to a bent Nun, as it is known that a bent Nun is female, meaning Malhut. And the straight Nun includes both male and female, which are Zeran Pin and Malhut. Now, Zeran Pin are the six Sfirot above the last one of Malhut. And it is considered to be the center of the tree of life. Zeran Pin, again, the 6 points, 6 Sfirot, also known as the shield of David. Many people know it as the Star of David, but its true meaning, its more accurate meaning is it is the shield of David. Why is it called the shield of David? Because it is the shield of Malhut, and Malhut is what is considered to be the kingdom, and that is represented by the patriarch David, King David. Okay? It continues. We explained here the bent nun, about which is said, quote, and it came to pass when the ark set forward, that Moses said, rise up, Hashem, that on the bent nun he said, rise. You may say that this is the reason both nuns were written inverted, but if so, why were they turned again to facing backward in this manner? Now, a lot of the Zohar is very concealed, and at first glance, it is difficult to understand. But do not allow that to prevent you from connecting to the energy. Really and truly, the most important part of it is the Aramaic, is to listen to the Aramaic. The English translation is just a byproduct. If you try too hard to understand the English, you're going to miss it. Just listen to the Hebrew, to the Aramaic, and connect to it with your soul. And it takes practice. So Sterling, verse 128, please.
128. תחזה נון באשרי יושבי ותחלה יתמר בגין דהי בגלותה והה וכמוה חבריה דכתיב נפלה לו תוסיף קום בתולת ישראל וגומר אלא מה כתיב לאלה ואהרון ברית השם נוסע לפניהם דרך 3 ימים לתור להם מנוחה כיוון דהבה נטיל ארונה נון נטיל עלי והה שכינתה על גבי ארונה יציב תחזה חביבותה דקודשה ברכו לגבי יהוד ישראל דהה אף על גב דאינון שטן מאורח משאר קודשה ברכו לה באל לשווקה לון ובכל זמנה ההדר אנפוי לקבליה הוא דאילה החילה יקומון בעלמא. Verse
Awesome.
128.
Thank you so much. And here's the English translation for verse 128. One soul. Come and behold. No nun is mentioned in the alphabetical phrase, quote, happy are they that dwell in your house, which is from Psalms 84, verse 5. Because the nun, which is Malhut, is in exile. The friends have explained it, since it is written about her, quote, the Virgin of Israel is fallen. She shall rise no more. She shall no more rise. End quote. And that is out of Amos, the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 2. However, it is written above, quote, and the ark of the covenant of Hashem went before them in the 3 days' journey to search out a resting place for them. Again, that is from Numbers chapter 10, verse 33. As soon as the ark traveled, the nun was traveling above it. That is Malhut. Since the Shekinah was residing on the ark. Come and behold, the love of the Holy One, blessed be He, for Israel. Even though they diverged from the straight path, the Holy One, blessed be He, did not wish to forsake them. He always turns His face back to them. For had it not been so, they would have never been able to survive in the world. All right? And Sterling, we're just going to do one more verse, okay? Verse
Okay.
129. Thank you.
Of course. תחזה ארונה הווה נטל כמיהו עורך תלתה יומין נון לה הווה מתפרש מיני ונטיל אימי ומגו רחימו דיל הון דישראל ההדר אנפוי ואיסתחר מלגבי ארונה כהי איילה דאז עלתה כד איהו אזיל ההדר אפוי לאתר, דנפיק ועלדה בנסועה ha'aron, nun aschar, anpin, lekavela, Yahud Yisrael, v'chatafe gufa legabe arona. Verse 129.
Beautiful. Thank you. And here is the English translation. Come and behold, the ark was moving before of them on a 3-day journey. The Nun, indicating the Shekinah, traveled along and did not leave it. Due to their love for Israel, he turned his face back to Israel, and she turned herself around from the ark, similar to a young deer that keeps turning her face back to the place she left when she goes forth. Therefore, when the ark set forth, the Nun turned its face back towards Israel, and the shoulders of its body towards the ark. Wow. End of verse. Friends, this stuff is so high and so supernatural that the imagery that it gives you in your mind, right? Just right there, it's as if, say, a mother is traveling with their children, and the mother always turns the head back to see how the children are doing, right? That is the imagery that I get here. When the Nun turns around, it's a backward facing Nun. Because here it says the Nun represents the Shekinah, which is the feminine aspect, kind of the Spirit of God that is always with us. And that is the meaning and the energy that we can tap into when we hear the Torah reading this Shabbat. So, Sterling, I want to thank you so very much for helping to raise the vibration of the program and of our listeners and the entire world through the reading of the Zohar. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. You can feel free to hang out with us if you would like, but I know that you have things to do, so you can feel free to drop whenever you need to, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I have to mentor for a Kabbalah class tonight, so I'm going to run, but I appreciate you all. And I think it's so special that you guys are all in Jamaica, like revealing this light. So I'm honored to be part of it, and wish you all a good night.
Thank you so much, Sterling. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So yes, my friends. So that is from the Zohar. And again, as many times as we are able to, we want to, raise the level of vibration of our program and of our listeners for the, so that we can all feel the sense and the energy force of the Creator. So we have been changing gears. We have been studying. We've been listening to the 6-part series, The Power of Kabbalah, or Kabbalah 1, right? Which is the basic introduction to the wisdom and the science of Kabbalah. We've gone through lessons 1 to 3, and tonight we're going to go into lesson 4, which is our correction in this world. Before I start that, did anyone have any questions or any comments that they would like to share?
Good evening, Josh.
Yes, my brother Peter. What's up?
All right. I just want to speak to Jamaica and let Jamaica know that the Zohar has tools in there that can assist us. You see, we live in times and seasons, months and years, and every month, every year, you have a certain time, a certain frequency, a certain vibration that take place. And the Zohar helps us. So
Absolutely.
Tap into that energy.
Yep.
Now, another thing is the language within which it was written the original language within which it was written. No language, yes, language carries a frequency.
That's right. Sound.
Yes.
Sound.
Yes. Yes. The language, yes, it doesn't have sound. Yes. The language carries a frequency. Yes. Now, this frequency that comes from the Aramaic language can tap into our potential DNA.
That's right. Connects directly to it. Yes.
Yes, yes. If you're holding a vibration or a meditation and you're listening, yes, to the reading and the chanting, especially the prayers, and what has been said, how it has been said, and when it has been said, you will feel the connection. Yeah, it's inevitable.
That's right.
Yeah, so it is good that if you guys can tune in. Yeah, so I'll just say sometime on Sabbath morning, and listen to somebody readings then and all of that. So it's very important.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for sharing that. And it's true. You see, and again, for people who are unfamiliar with the science, right? And that's why it's a science and not a religion, right? Because we're dealing with frequency, we're dealing with energy, right? This is metaphysics. Whereas Christianity does not teach you any of that. Okay? So, as Peter said, by connecting to the frequency of the language, it will assist us in our transformation, because believe it or not, we need help. We need help to transform. The whole reason why the Torah was given to mankind was to assist him in his transformation, in his battle against the evil inclination. That's the whole reason why it was given. And what we do here and we teach is how to connect to that science, to that frequency, to that energy level. Right? That is how we're able to, and that is why the Israelites, the Jews all around the world, are powerful. It's not because they're more special than anybody else. It's what they connect to. It's the secrets they were given. And let me just make a comment, because those of you who are familiar with what's happening in the world and what's happening over in the Gaza Strip, and there are a lot of people, today it's very difficult to find people who will embrace the teachings of the Israelites because they feel that what is happening over in Gaza is unjust. And I will agree 150% that what is happening is unjust. But let me tell you this. Just because a person calls themselves a Jew doesn't mean that they are a Jew. The true Israelite would never do something like that. Okay? Never. There is no justification whatsoever. Because the mindset of the Israelite is to treat everyone with human dignity and to be merciful.
Josh.
Yes, Peter. And I don't want to go too far into it. Yes, Peter.
I was reasoning with a rabbi some 30 or more years ago. He's an ultra-Orthodox. And he pointed to the Torah and said the war that's going on over there should never be happening in the first place, because we will be getting a new Jerusalem and the old one will be no more. And that the rabbi pointed to, so he told me where the war and who is fighting. And we will not get into that right now.
Yeah.
As you said, but the Torah points to it that this war is not needed. And he showed it to me.
But you know something? Here's the thing. You see, what happens in Israel is a microcosm of what is happening around the world. Right? So the struggles that are happening in that area is symbolic of the struggles that are happening within each person. It's the struggle against the evil inclination and our ego. So that is why when you hear people talk about pray for Israel, right? It's not that they're just praying for one particular set of people. It's because naturally in the world, okay, they are a microcosm of what is happening all around the world. So if there is strife going on in Israel, there's going to be strife going on everywhere else. So how can we help? We can help by working on ourselves. Right? Let God be the judge. Let us treat our fellow person with human dignity. Right there in Jamaica, we see it happening, where we don't treat each other properly. Okay? The government not treating the people properly. They're not putting the right programs in place so that poor people can get a proper way to come out of poverty. Right? So there's so much that you can point to. And what I say to my fellow Jamaicans and humans, anybody who is embracing this wisdom, is not to be caught up in the distractions. Don't get caught up in the distractions. Let's each person work on themselves. And for those who are here tonight, that's exactly what you're doing. And I applaud you. Thank you for being here and connecting to this wisdom, because you're making the world a better place. So now let's listen to what Eitan has to say about our correction in this world.
Welcome to class number 4 of the Power of Kabbalah course. Hopefully by now, you're making the effort to practice transformation from reactive to proactive, following the proactive formula. The question that the Kabbalists ask, let's say I'm working on overcoming my reactive nature. And I have an issue with my partner at work, and it's triggering my reactive nature. And after I study Kabbalah, I start to look at this as opportunity. And it's driving me crazy, and I'm becoming a little upset and say, let go. It's opportunity from the light. Let the light in. Treat him in a proactive way. But you know something? I'm realizing the problem is not shifting. I have the same issue again and again. That's what life is about? For the rest of my working life, I'm going to still treat him as opportunity and I'm not changing anything? That how it's supposed to be? Is in my life forever and every day will be the same opportunity? The answer is no. What we're going to learn today is, if the issue keep repeating itself again and again and again, this repetitive pattern about my chaos, about my challenges, it means I'm not changing something internal. Maybe externally I'm working on not being reactive, but there's something deeper beneath it. The subject of today's class is the concept of tikkun, or correction. The Kabbalists explain that beneath all our issues and reactivities and challenges, there's unique lessons we came to learn in this world, and that's called tikkun. The way the Kabbalists define tikkun is my soul's correction. Tikkun is or are, because there's many of them, the negative attributes that a person enters the world with and is responsible to transform in order to connect with the light. Our tikkun is the cause of why and how we get reactive. So if reactive, like anger, like hurt, like victim, would be the external manifestation of the opponent, there's unique, deep corrections I need to do that calls my tikkun. Correction means things that need to be transformed. Negative attributes I came to overcome. So for example, my tikkun can be, I think I know it all, unique ego. As a result, it will attract. When people around me behave as they know it all and they try to control me, I'll be very reactive. But reactive is the effect. The cause really is because I think I know it all. Or the tikkun is unable to forgive others, or fear of commitment, or pride, fear of showing our true self, or neediness, fear of confrontation, fear of never uncovering your true self, needing to be validated by others, jealousy, fear of rejection, anger, fear of being alone. And of course, there's many more to this list. But Kabbalistically, all of us came from Adam's soul. One soul. And that one soul split into many pieces. And already in our origin, we all chose certain tikkun, certain negative attributes I came to transform, certain positive energies and gifts I came to channel into this world. So I have my own unique lessons. So one person's lesson and one person's way to express his positive energy is by speaking out and not being afraid. And you need to overcome that insecurity in tikkun. Another person tikkun can be being too outspoken and learning to be a little bit more quiet and learning to be more reserved and letting go of that pride that make me speak out. So tikkun is the unique lessons we came to overcome. And I need to take responsibility for this lesson. If I don't know these unique lessons, I'll keep attract repetitive patterns of chaos in my life. I can be a good guy and a nice guy and nice to everybody. And I don't understand how come I'm suffering. The reason is because there's hidden tikkuns I'm not aware of. I might be kind and proactive in many areas, but in certain areas, I'm not. For example, one person's tikkun is afraid to ask for help. And he's proactive, and he's nice, and he's kind, and he's sharing, and it seems to be pretty restrictive. But because he's afraid to ask for help, which is a hidden pride, for that reason he came to this world, to learn how to ask for help. But he's doing so many things good. But maybe he was born already from past lifetime with these good attributes. His tikkun is in the area that he is flawed, that he is blind. So the fact that he's doing many spiritual actions, that's great. But tikkun is the area that really I came to shift. And that's really going to change my destiny. If I'm going to do everything that I'm doing right because it's naturally right for me and I'm born with some natural great attributes, that's amazing. But life is about finding your specific tikkun. So when we say Kabbalistically, I begin to know I am, I begin to know how my tikkun works. When we ask the question, why a person is born to certain parents, why a person is born as rich or as poor, with abusive parents or with kind and loving parents, why we're born with certain talents, with certain fears, with certain DNA, why we're born with a strong personality and confrontive personalities, and our own brother is born so gentle and kind and a pleaser. It's bigger than just the DNA of the parents. And even the Kabbalah is asking even another question, which the answer for all of them is the same. What's really determining my thought patterns? Because everything starts with thoughts. Thoughts of creativity, thoughts of fears, thoughts of insecurity, thoughts of initiation, thoughts of doubt. Why certain thoughts? Can I stop thinking? Can I say in my computer, that's it, I'm done, I don't want to think anymore? It seemed to be it's tough to stop that computer. What's causing me to meet certain people in the elevator? What's causing me to go through certain unique challenges in my life? Why I keep attracting similar people in my relationship? Why? And the answer is, my soul came with certain tikkun. since the soul of Adam and Eve. And we went through lifetimes in attempt to overcome the tikkun, to cleanse these layers of negativity I came to shift. It's not that we have one tikkun. As the moment we remove one tikkun and we overcome and we recognize that specific life lessons I need to learn, I'm removing that layer of onion and there's another one and there's another one, and as we're overcoming it, we're getting closer to the light. So the reason why our soul chose this family and not another family, the reason our soul chose to be born under the sign of Pisces and not Leo, is because I need to learn to be more forceful, to be more confrontive, to have more perseverance with my desires. And as I'm born as a Pisces, maybe the natural tendency is to have weaker desires and less belief into myself. But it's exactly what I need to overcome it. So we all have our own unique challenges, unique circumstances, unique parents, unique influences, unique issues to help me in my tikkun, to help me in my correction. If I have an issue with neediness, I might attract in a relationship someone that I'll constantly try to please, the stronger part of me. And as long as I'm not going to learn my lesson, I'm too needy, and I'm showering that person with love and energy too much without sensitivity from fear and neediness, as long as I'm not starting to develop true respect for myself, and the man actually sharing back, I'm going to keep attract that person that will be stronger than me, that will cause me to feel I'm not sure I like you. You're not good enough for me, and will make me more and more needy. Our tikkun, our life lessons will attract realities. Sometimes, when we don't learn about our tikkun spiritually, proactively, the only way to learn about tikkun is through chaos, is through pain. Because even many of the people that now watching this program, the reason you open to spirituality because you went through some pain in your life that woke you up to realize I have to change. Doesn't have to be this way. Doesn't have to be this way. So in order to bring it down to deeper understanding and to practical understanding in life, what I would like each one of you, again, is to take a piece of paper and a pen and to divide it to 3 columns. In the left column, it will be written, as you can see, I didn't like or don't like when refer to certain name of someone did this or that towards me. In the middle column, it will be more the emotional reaction. How I reacted towards the name of the person, this way or that way. I emotionally reacted towards them. And in the right column, my physical reaction towards, again, the name of the person was such and such. And what I would like you is to choose the scenario that you write down about, something that is repetitive in your life. You keep attracting similar challenge because you want to learn from this about your personal tikkun. So please take a couple of minutes to fill it up. Please go ahead. Okay, great. Now read it out loud for yourself. Without explanation. Even if it's someone next to you, it's even greater. But if not, read it out loud for yourself. And great. Now we'll come back to that example in a few minutes. Why that particular scenario presented itself in my life? Or really send that person into my life? Is it random that I'm facing certain challenge? We said before I'm facing challenges that I can overcome the opponent. But is it a random thing why that particular challenge is my life? Or that money loss is in my life? or that accusation of a friend of me of something that I didn't do is in my life. Is there any reason for this, that I was humiliated in a certain way? Or was I aggravated by my family member? Is there any specific reason why it came in this point into my life? Or is it just random? Kabbalistically, when we are born not just with the physical DNA, with the metaphysical DNA, which consists the precise life script and video of how my life will be, will include challenges, will include issues, will include childhood, will include thought patterns, will include people that I'll meet, will include having a cold, will include divorces and marriages and blessings and difficulties and disease. Everything is written in this life script. The ups and the downs and the great time and the difficult times. And my mind battles. Everything is written. Does it mean it's written and in fixed and I cannot change it? No. As we're going to learn for sure, we can change our destiny. But that destiny is written precisely. Based on what? Based on the tikkun I need to overcome. Based on the life lesson I need to transform. So that situation that you and all of us are faced with, and the one that you wrote down, was sent by the light as part of my DNA script, as part of my movie in life. I need it in my life. It's exactly what I need. The light presented to me. Even though he presented to me in a package which is not so nice, a person who is unfair and annoying, and I might need to get rid of that person from my life, nevertheless, it's there for me to learn about my tikkun, to overcome about my own issues. It's there to help me to transform the unique issues that I have. And the Kabbalists explain. And at the moment I'm truly stopping and saying, 1 second, that situation is in my movie for a reason. The light presented me that situation to help me to learn about me. And maybe I need to learn it's the time actually to be strong and to demand certain realities. I have a right to choose who are my real friends. And I need to say goodbye to someone. That's maybe my tikkun. My tikkun is learning to choose and to create boundaries about my environment. Or my tikkun is to learn to let go of control and learn to have teamwork with someone. Give them some strength. Empower them. Don't only think about, but I'm not in control. How come they take over everything? Maybe my tikkun is teamwork. Let go. Energize them. You'll energize them a little bit. You'll be amazed actually how they're shifting and they want to be a team with you. There are many reasons why certain scenarios are in our life, but all of them to help us to learn about our tikkun. And at the moment the Kabbalists explain that I'm actually recognizing my tikkun and shifting and going against it, even though it's tough and it's painful, because I'm used to it. It's repetitive. Sometimes it's lifetime I'm behaving the same. I'm judging the same. I'm controlling the same. I have pride and ego the same. I have fear the same. Sometimes it's repetitive. And more repetitive it is, more ingrained it is with us that it's tough for us to let go. That's real tikkun. Those deep issues that it's tough to let go. It's not just don't be reactive. It's deep. It's painful to let it go. It's as if I'm letting go for a baby. But when I'm begin that process of really recognize that tikkun is a poison that attract repetitive chaos into my life, and I'm fighting to let it go, which is a deeper letting go than just external reaction, and I need more strength and more tools for that, what I'm actually doing in that moment, I changed my destiny. I elevated myself to a parallel universe that is better than the old one. I've just tapped into some miracles in my life. Because the Kabbalists explain, parallel to the destiny I was born with and the movie in the cassette I was born with, there's many more. There's many 10 or 100 or 1,000. And every time I'm truly shifting my tikkun and truly overcoming my deep-rooted reactive nature that I came to fix in this world, I've actually pushed the button that helping me to shift to a better movie. That the chaos that was supposed to be tomorrow, or the disease, or the sickness, or the tough relationships suddenly miraculously shifted themselves. Why? Because I don't need to learn that lesson anymore. I don't need to face the challenges and the pain and the chaos that will push me to learn my lessons. Because no matter what, we're going to learn our lessons eventually. Might take 1 lifetime or 100 lifetime. Might be through proactive awareness or might be through pain. Faster, I'm able to take responsibility for my life and to say, wow, why that scenario is in my movie? What can I learn from it? What do I need to change about it? As painful as it is, as unfair as it is, it's in my life. My soul attracted it. The light presented that situation into my life. When I'm really asking this question, and I know it's between me and the light, the other people and the other challenges are just serving me to help me to grow. You're right, sometimes there's cruel realities. I cannot just ignore these cruel people. You're right. Sometimes part of my tikkun is to learn how to defend myself. Part of my correction is to learn to stand up, to speak up. Sometimes it doesn't seem to be I have any choice in certain scenarios. It's so horrible, it's so unfair, it's so difficult. We always have a choice. Maybe not physically. Maybe a person already lost his money. So what choice did I have? What kind of a tikkun I have? I already lost my money. And I'm not sure I can afford. But do I have a choice? Yes, I have a choice. In my consciousness, I have a choice. I have a choice to blame the world or to learn my lessons. To learn what have I done as a businessman. That scenario teaching me about my tikkun. Why is it in my movie? What can I learn from it? What does the light wants to teach me about my pattern? Is it possible that the same thing I'm going through, maybe I caused to other people? This is a tough question. But without asking those real questions, I'll never shift pattern and shift my destiny. Falling is not a problem. Learning from my falls, learning the lessons of me, is the only way I really transform my reality. It's tough. We've learned so far about to raise my consciousness is not to believe the 1% and not to react to the 1% reality. We've learned that by me overcoming the reactive nature, it's a great way. By me overcoming the opponent, it's a great way to raise my consciousness, to elevate myself to the next level and to be closer to the light. But even a deeper level, to recognize the unique life lessons that manifest themselves so many times in my life and to say I'm going to change it. I'm not going to let myself again, let my shyness, that it's a cover-up for ego trip, control me. I realize it's my tikkun. I need to speak up. I need to reveal myself. I need to overcome that fear. And if I'm not, life will push me to do it. I'd rather be proactive about it. And when I begin that process, I'll see actually shifting my consciousness and definitely transforming my destiny. It's a major shift, creating miracles and blessings in my life. The analogy that the Rav Berg is giving is you enter to a multiplex cinema and there's 10 movies running at the same time. Maybe I don't have a choice of the script of each movie, but I have a choice which movie I would like to go. The same thing is in life. All the potential movies of our life are already written. Which one of them will I tune to? Which one of them my life will be with less miracles, with more chaos, with less chaos, with my unlimited self that I even not aware of? I have a choice. Every time I'm meeting that junction in my life that I can overcome my tikkun, or overcome my reactivity, overcome my selfishness, going beyond myself. There's a story about a man that was running a large business, 5,000 employees. And he had the opportunity to save himself personally by being bankrupt and still cashing a lot of money himself. But all these 5,000 employees actually gonna be hurt big time. And sometimes you have no choice, you have to do it, understandable. But actually that particular person, that was a moment of his tikkun. Past lifetime, that person was a big politician. And as a politician, he had the power to save the people. But he cared about his own glory. And even though he promised to save the people and the simple people with their rights and with the support and with their livelihood, he cared about himself, his own power, his own money, and his own strength. And he fell. He didn't overcome this tikkun. He didn't catch this tikkun. In this lifetime, he had the similar scenario again. He was very rich and very powerful, but it was not because he did something, because he had to play out his tikkun, his correction again. He was faced with a test. The test is, should I keep fighting for the company and give another month for my employees and try another month and maybe create different ways with the help of the light to create transformation, or just let me choose the easy way out, which is bankruptcy? And he chose bankruptcy. He didn't realize it was not just a business decision, it was a tikkun decision. Doesn't mean it's the same tikkun and test for everyone. Some people, sometimes their tikkun is move on and don't protect everybody, because you'll be destroyed and you're not going to be able to help anybody else. And sometimes people are overprotector and over the underdog tikkun, which is overly being righteous. But for that particular person, if he really will reach inside and will ask the light, what's my lessons? He will know that in this particular scenario, don't go for the easy. Fight for the people. And by him doing it, it will mean he overcame his tikkun and miracles and wonders will happen to him. He will shift his destiny. He will have everything back and more. Those tikkuns in our life we all faced with. In relationships, at work, with ourselves, with friends, when people that asking us for help and we don't have the time for them. It may be that person and that attention I need to give, that exactly what I need for my tikkun, to create a shift in my consciousness. Spirituality is not the expected action I'm supposed to do. It's those hidden moments that testing where I'm at, that giving me a chance to overcome my tikkun. Another major hint for tikkun, whenever I'm facing unfair situation, there's a bigger picture behind this unfair. Things don't just happen unfair. I might legally need to take care of it in a 1% level. Absolutely yes. I'm not going to let everybody take advantage of me. But if it's unfair in my life, what's my tikkun? Maybe in a 1% it's unfair, but there's a bigger court here. The light in my soul, the journey of my soul. Our soul is on a journey. The Zohar teaches that until the age of 13, the evil inclination control us. Our tikkun from past lifetimes comes back. And from that age on, we start to go through a process of working on our tikkun. And I would like to read that section from the Zohar that says so. Let's read in Aramaic, and as we're listening to the Aramaic, we're connecting to the energy and to the strength. Find it in volume 6, portion Vayeshev, verse 2 and 3. ותחזי, דאחרו דאה ביראם יומית ילדו כולן אתרי גרמהו, והרכין מנוגו נורא. ומן כל אתרין בישין וברנש מיד התילה הרמה גרמי גו נורא. בגין דייצא הרע שערי בגבה ומיד הסתילה לערכה בישה. והוא כימנה דכתיב טוב ילד מסכן וחכם ממלך זקן וכסיל, אשר לא ידע להיזהר עוד, טוב ילד דהו יצר טוב, דהו ילד מיומין זהירין עמד דברנש, דעה מתלסר שנין ואילך כמה דהיתמר. From day one, the Zohar tells us, the patterns of our tikkun, the same fears, the same reactivity, the same negativity from the past that I came to learn, taking over. And all our experiences that we're going through is to root within us those feeling that's who I am, that's my fears, that's my insecurities. And it's so tough to let go of them. And then from the age of 13 on, our job is to start to remove those layers. That's it. That's the reason it's so important in a young age to be exposed to these teachings. Back to the exercise that we had before. I would like you to read out loud what you wrote down with a little change. If there's somebody next to you watching this program, read it to them. If not, just read it out loud to yourself and listen to it. And what you read before, instead of writing the name of the person that bothered you, or the anger that you had towards that person, or the negative action you did towards them, write the word delight. For example, instead of my kids, I would say, I didn't like when the light made a mess in the room. And then I would say, I was very angry at the light, not at my kids in this saying. And then you would say, I was yelling at the light. And if you can just please read it out loud and ask yourself, what does it make me feel when I'm reading it this way? Since we've learned, who really presented these scenarios in my life? The light sent it to me, according to my tikkun. Everything precisely organized to help me. When we says the light is infinite and the light is perfect, it means it's arranging and organizing every scenario to help me to grow, to help me to remove my tikkun, to help me to express my true unlimited positive potential. So it's the light. So please read it out loud, pause for a second, and try to feel what type of realization it brings in you. Please go ahead. When we read it, the second time mentioning the light, right away the feelings that we had is, wow, I realize it's silly. Who am I fighting against? Actually, it's helping me to take responsibility for why that person is in my life. It makes us actually realize the ball is in our court, not in someone else's court. The first step is to understand everything that I'm facing in my life. It's exactly what I need to help me to grow, to help me to learn my lessons, to help me to learn to change. One person tikkun might be, I'm letting other people's opinion of me change my opinion of myself. So that person, it's a tricky tikkun. Every time I will be criticized by someone, right away say, you're right, I'm so horrible, and I will be crushed, and I will be sad, and I will be down, I will be upset. I'm so horrible, I'm so needy, I'm so negative. That can be actually tikkun. Sometimes you need to learn that not everything that people say about you, it's 100% right. You need to be strong enough to listen to it, but not to be crushed, and to be objective enough to realize, I agree with that tikkun, and let me meditate if it's totally right. Maybe part of it is not totally right. But one of the indications I'm not working on my tikkun, that I'm learning certain life lessons to crush me because I can't stand myself anymore, then it's not about learning my tikkun. When I'm learning my tikkun, I'm excited that I've learned something new I need to change. I'm excited because every time I'm moving forward in the ladder of consciousness, I'm actually happier because I'm getting closer to the light, even though it's tough and difficult. Owning responsibility about my tikkun, it is not easy. It requires work. It requires true self-examination. Some of the tools I will recommend that you can use to start to connect to the deeper layers of a tikkun are maybe 3 major tools. Tool number 1, just ask the question, not all day long. at least once at the end of the day, like the Kabbalists explained before going to sleep, is a very powerful time to reflect. Look at the things that happen today, which make you unsettled, which make you feel grudge or difficult or too easy, and ask yourself, why was that in my movie? Why was that person in my movie? What is the lesson? The light, what are you trying to teach me? What other times the same scenario happened in my life, which I can see the same life lesson, just by asking the question. That's number one. And it's a constant consciousness I need to have. The second question I need to ask myself is, let me look at the thing that's so disturbing in my life, what other people do to me, that are so unfair and annoying and irritating, that personally bothering me, and I cannot let them go. And ask myself the question, am I doing similar things to others? Maybe in a hidden, concealed way, whatever I feel bothered, whatever I feel I don't get enough in life from others, maybe I'm not giving enough, or I'm hurting others in a similar way or in a hidden, concealed way. And the third question to open gates of understanding and connecting to my tikkun. Don't be afraid to ask people to help you to see what you need to change. Bring it on. As far as it's humiliating sometimes and uncomfortable, it's actually the greatest gift for the soul. When my ego gets punched, my soul is excited. My ego get what he wants, my consciousness not always go up, sometimes down. So as a real exercise before the next class, I would like each one of you to call someone and to ask them, please tell me things that you see wrong in me that I need to change. This exercise shouldn't be just for the class. In general, we need to be able to open, to listen to other people's criticism with strength, with courage, with willingness to let the light in. Because again, recognizing the deeper layers of the opponents, our tikkun, exposing it, is the first level of overcoming it. And then overcoming this pattern, going against my fear, because usually in all areas of our tikkun, the reason we hold on to it because we're so afraid. We're afraid if we're going to let it go and we act differently, I'm going to be too vulnerable and hurt. But that's the time to say, trust the light. You know it's your life lesson. Go against it. Trust the light. Of course it's not going to be easy. Of course it will feel risky. You're not going to get immediate guarantee because we're not connecting to the bank of Satan, which is all immediate guarantees. It's the bank of the light, which is a real guarantee. And you need to trust it. And sometimes you're not going to see the results right away. But persistence and perseverance in overcoming the tikkun will attract long-term blessings. We cannot give up. One of the lessons, spiritual lessons of true success is perseverance. Is all the way. Not just saying, so what about the results? How come things didn't change? One of the tricks of Satan in this world is sometimes between cause and effect will be some time. I'm doing something great, I will not see immediate results, to give me the test. And sometimes when I'm doing something horrible, I will not see the immediate negative results, to test us. Have an amazing time practicing these lessons. See you in the next lesson.
Okay. So there we have it. And let me just go down to some of the highlights here. So this is about tikkun. What we came here to correct. And believe me, one of the most powerful things Eitan said there is ask someone who's close to you. Actually, your children or your spouse. is the best person to ask. Right? What can I change? What do you think I need to change? It takes courage to even ask that. And courage to be able to hear it without getting upset. So, how was that for you guys? Let me open up the floor to any comments or
It was really cool, Jeff. And one of the points that really stood out to me is that he said we should dig within. Yes.
I didn't hear that, Peter. We could what?
No, I said one of the points that I hear him say, he said we have it in us, we just need to dig it within us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one of the things that I hear him say. And I've always said that. And we mustn't have doubt. Once we have the thoughts in our head about anything like that, it's just evidence, more evidence that the source is in us. We need to acknowledge that. And we are in denial. Just in the same fashion we in denial, so Lucifer and Satan don't exist. Yes, a lot of people will do that too. Yes, that God don't live in them, if God don't live inside of them. What else does? Remember, we draw in the light to us, Yes, we draw in the light, and the more light, the more filled we with God. And then at that time, now, we know we can tap into our source, which is in us. Yeah?
Indeed. Indeed.
I'm frying some dumplings now.
Anyone else? Akash, how was it for you?
The concept of the tikkun really resonated with me, especially in my life. Sometimes when something happens to me, my ego gets bruised. Even today, it happened to me, and I realize now that I should relish in my tikkun and view them as opportunities for growth and improvement.
For growth, exactly.
But the reactive part of me wants to seclude myself and never be in that situation again. So it's just
well, it's good to not want to be in that situation again, but the only way to do that is to deal with it, right?
Yeah, I think it's an important distinction to make to deal with it as opposed to avoiding it.
That's right.
Avoiding it by circumventing it as opposed to avoiding it by running away from it and
right.
and being essentially allowing the tikkun to overpower you.
Right, or through denial, right?
To
not acknowledge that it's there. And one of the things that, a sign or a signal that you're dealing with a tikkun is a reoccurring pattern of events. Right? Reoccurring pattern of events that is happening in someone's life. For instance, people who draw to themselves the wrong type of relationship. Like women who always seem to get into abusive relationships, right? Unfortunately. They could look at that and they have to ask the question, well, why do I continue to draw this type of person into my life?
I think for myself, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but one of the things I need to work on is the people closest to me. Sometimes I take them for granted that I've known them for so long that I start to get a little sloppy, a little lazy, that maybe I'm just a little bit too short-tempered, or maybe I'm a little bit, I don't know, like if a stranger did the same thing, that I wouldn't say anything, but sometimes when people close to me do something, it's almost like I go out of my way and I find a reason to be just mildly agitated it's very mild. But I'm like, why am I experiencing this emotion? I wouldn't feel this towards other people. So I think I need to personally work on longevity and maintaining an even keel demeanor and over the long term.
Right.
I've really made some great connections. I don't want to lose them.
Right. Absolutely. Good. Sean, what about you? Sean, you there? Okay, maybe Sean stepped away. Miss D, how about you? Anything you'd like to share? What was most impactful for you?
The same thing we're talking about. 1 second, let me get my thoughts together. Just like asking someone to what is what the area in my life I need to address. Quite recently, it's not a month ago, my daughter and I was talking. We were talking and she really told me very nicely, oh, you need to work in this area of your life.
Your daughter told you that?
Yeah. And we were talking, we were having a discussion and we were going down memory lane. And she said, this is an area in our family that we need to address. And the I came up, the ego. I said, you talking about you too? And then, and then I got quiet and I said, thank you very much. And so I've really been working in that area. And then this is like 3 weeks ago,
Wow.
And whenever I find myself going the way, I kind of remember her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pause. And then I deal with it. And then I continue. And I'm tapping myself because it's a work in progress, but I've seen such improvement in my life. And I feel proud of me. Not proud in self, but
that's right, of course.
Grateful,
yes, that you're recognizing it and you're working on it. Yeah.
Grateful that I didn't get how dare she tell me that's my daughter. How dare I wasn't like that,
Yeah, especially for us West Indians, right?
Grateful. Oh yes.
Especially for us West Indians. Yeah, man. When I take talk from the children, right?
It. So that's my take on it. That's my
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
work in progress. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, Sean, you're back with us. Anything that you'd like to share? Anything that you found was most impactful to you? Maybe Sean step away. So, indeed, again, this is the science of Kabbalah. This is the wisdom. It's not easy, but it's simple. Okay? The concepts of introspection, these are simple concepts, but they're not easy to do. Right? Not easy to do, but thank God we have a community. Again, of each other, made up of each other, where we can discuss these things and we can assist each other in our personal transformation, because that is what it is all about. The whole purpose for the spiritual work is for personal transformation, to make the world a better place. When love is the primary action of people, when we can love one another as God loves us, right? That's where the true change and the true transformation takes place, and that's when we'll see the world becoming the paradise that it was originally intended to be. So I want to thank all of our listeners here those who joined the program tonight and those listening on World Vibes Radio and those of you listening on YouTube Live. I want to thank you for listening tonight. Remember, we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday night from 7 p.m. Jamaica, 8 p.m. Eastern to about 10 p.m. It's after 10 p.m. now, Eastern. And what we do here, again, is we teach the wisdom of Kabbalah, which is based upon the 5 books of Moses, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, the Torah. Based upon the Torah, revealed by the great sage Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was a reincarnation of Moses. It is only fitting that the soul that received the revelation of the original Torah is the same one that comes back to expound upon it so that we can have profound wisdom that is revealed from the Zohar. So, thank you, everyone. And until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful week. And for those of you who want to reach out, if you want to become a part of the Kabbalah for Jamaicans family, join our WhatsApp group, or to get the links for Shabbat Connection on Saturday, or we invite you to join the Shabbat Connection, the live Shabbat Connection via Zoom of the Shabbat Morning Connection performed by the Kabbalah Center, New York City. We can send you a Zoom link where you can observe a Kabbalistic Shabbat lecture beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern and the Torah reading beginning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So that's country code +1 516 965 5700. Again, country code +1 516 965 5700. And you can also check us out on our website, KabbalahForJamaicans.com. That's KABBALAH, the number 4, and Jamaicans, JAMAICANS, KabbalahForJamaicans.com. All right. So, my friends, thanks again for being here. I want to thank Sterling for reading Zohar for us at the beginning of the program. Like I said, we got a little late start this afternoon. It's going to be this evening. But we're still able to get in what we had intended with the class from Eitan.
Josh.
Yes, my brother.
I read up until 12 o'clock sometimes Tuesday night, you know.
That's awesome. You mean with the Zohar call? That's awesome. Man.
Yes. I'll go right through with David and then Elaine and
that's
then
awesome.
Right up until 12 o'clock. So some of these things on the erection of the ark and all of that stuff, I read all of that already.
That's awesome, Peter. Listen, just by you doing that, you are being a beacon of light to Jamaica, you know, because wherever you are in Jamaica, in Kingston, right, the vibration, the sound vibration of what you're listening to on your device, whether it be a mobile device, your cell phone or your tablet or your PC, for a 2-mile radius. That is where the sound is affected.
I went outside my house to walk next door, and I had my phone with me, and I was listening to it.
Awesome.
And what the lady name last night? What's her name again? I was reading with you. Both of you were reading. And she was reading in Aramaic.
Yeah.
And I paused for a second, and I was talking to my friend. And I said, listen to this. Shh, don't say a word. Just listen to this. I make him listen to her reading it in Aramaic.
Nice.
And I look at him and I tell him, say, I don't care right now, you know, but I know certain idea.
That's right. That's right. That's it, Peter. That is what we have to do. That is what each person has to do. Right? You're not just taking it for yourself, but you're exposing others to it as well. That's wonderful. And I'm working on getting you some Zohars, okay?
Yes, sir. All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, my brethren. Blessed love, everyone. And we'll see you. Oh, so the next connection for us is Friday night. So, those of us, maybe 7-day Adventists, but definitely if you're an Israelite and you observe the Shabbat, you know that Shabbat begins Friday night sundown. So every Friday night, we stream the Friday night Shabbat connection from the Kabbalah Center, New York City. Again, if you would like to, connect to those and be an observer, connect to the energy on a Friday night, just give us a call. Country code +1 516 965 5700. Again, country code +1 516 965 5700. And then Saturday morning, starting at 9 a.m. Jamaica, 10 a.m. Eastern, with the lecture beginning at 10 a.m. Jamaica, 11 a.m. Eastern, and Torah reading starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. in Jamaica. Friends, try not to miss it. You won't regret it. Believe me. It is so powerful, and you begin to see results immediately. Immediately. Until then, everyone have a great evening and rest of the week. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
One love. All
Three,
right.
three steps
Good night,
backwards and
everyone.
4 steps forward.
One love. One soul, everyone. Blessed
One
love.
soul, one soul.
One
All
soul.
right.
Yes, sir.